Today we've got the 2024 Kia Carnival, and we're going to do something a little bit special. We're going to give you an authentic family review because it's Bring Your Kids to Work Day. So I've got my daughter Emily with me. Emily? Emily? Emily, it's Bring Your Kids to Work Day, not Bring Your Kids to play with their phone day. I'm going to need your help here.
What do you need me to say?
Anyhow, we're going to get Emily's perspective on what's important to our second row passengers when it comes to minivans. Let's go start with some driving impressions before we dig into some of the details about its practicality and passenger space. The 2024 Kia Carnival applies the familiar formula of a V6 combined with an 8-speed transmission in order to get going. Although the Kia Carnival is plenty heavy and it's a large vehicle as a minivan, the V6 has 290 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty in order to get this vehicle moving the way it needs to as a family vehicle. This thing is no sports car and it doesn't need to be. Despite that, it actually handles quite well as far as minivans go, and I enjoy driving it without having to push it very much because I just wasn't interested in driving this vehicle that way. As with any minivan, the Carnival's primary mission is comfort, and that it does really well. The Kia Carnival rides comfortably, absorbing road imperfections and bumps without problems and cruising along the highway really smoothly, both between the way the engine and transmission work and the suspension absorbing any rough spots. The Carnival also has adaptive cruise control. You can set it for a specific distance to the car in front of you and it will maintain that distance, as well as have some lane keep assist to keep you centered in the lane to help you relax during driving and not stress out over every time cars are slowing down in front of you. What do you think, Emily? Do you think the ride of the Carnival is comfortable enough?
Yeah, it's like really smooth compared to some of the other cars that we've driven.
What helps the Carnival stand out the most in the minivan segment is actually its price. The Kia Carnival starts for a bargain basement price of $36,495. There is a $1,950 freight and PDI charge for all Carnivals, but at the same time, no other minivan starts at lower than about $40,000. The model we're driving is the fully loaded SX, and that comes with extra features like that adaptive cruise and full safety suite, Apple CarPlay on a big screen, heated and cooled seats, rear VIP lounge seats, which we're going to demonstrate for you in just a second, and a whole laundry list of other features that make it a true luxury type vehicle. Okay, the interior quality might not quite be luxurious, but it is very nice with good quality materials and nice design that keep it looking fresh and not too drab and boring. One of my favorite features on a typical minivan is something like a 360-degree parking camera, which the Kia Carnival SX has, making backing in and getting out of parking spots much easier because they are such long vehicles and sometimes can be difficult to park in tight parking spaces. The Kia Carnival can't match the Chrysler Pacifica when it's equipped with its stow-and-go seating that allows you to fold the third row and the second row into wells below the floor, but it does have a really nice cargo space. So let's take a look at that first. One of the greatest things about minivans, of course, is the amount of cargo space you get even with all 3 rows up. The Kia Carnival happens to be the best in this segment with 1,139 liters of trunk space, even with all 3 rows up and room for 6 passengers. The Kia Carnival is also pretty easy to raise and fold the rear seats. You got to tuck in these headrests first to make sure they don't interfere. And then you got these big handles here that are easy to get a grip on, and you press it down and you just push it right down. Both sides, pretty easy and quick. Some of the other vans have a power folding third row, and that just probably takes too long because even to get these back up, just lift it up, push it into place, and pull on the strap and get these headrests back up for safety. Once you've got these seats up, there's still a ton of space. So you're not going to be short on space, and you can see, get your hockey bags in there, just toss them in. That's 2 hockey bags, and you still got tons of space for other things like strollers and whatever else you and your family need. When it comes to passenger space, obviously it's a minivan, so there's plenty of foot and headroom in both rows. But I did find something a little bit quirky about these driver seats, and that's that the seat bottom seems a bit short. So my leg is sticking out a little bit, and it's not as supportive as some of the other seats in the segment are. Anyhow, let's take a break, and I'll let Emily tell you about what she thinks of the second row seats.
This is the top of the line Carnival, and it has super cool back seats where you can recline, so I can maybe take a little nap on the way to wherever we're going. So all you gotta do, push it in, push it back, and there's a button that you have to hold, and it reclines it for you. We each have our own little plug where we can plug in our phones and devices.
Those second row VIP reclining seats are pretty cool, but there's also a really nice third row, although I'm not a huge fan of the fact that you have to just get between the 2 second row seats in order to get to the third row. I like seats that tilt and fold and allow access from the side. When it comes to the infotainment system, Kia has delivered a really intuitive and easy to use system. Let's take a closer look at that now. All minivans have some really great storage options up front and in the back, and the Carnival is no exception. Plenty of cup holders, a really great space for wireless charging for your phone. But the Carnival also has a great infotainment system, and I like the look of the interior. They continue the 3-dimensional pattern from the exterior over here into the dash. The screen is nice and wide with plenty of functions. But they've also got a neat bunch of shortcuts here where you can press the favorite button to take you right to your Apple CarPlay, but they've got the fixed buttons for radio or the map where you can go back to Kia's native apps. So I really like the basic setup that they've got here for the infotainment system, as well as some of the hard controls for the HVAC and your favorites in the vehicle. Another neat feature that the Kia has is something I like to call Spy Cam. In case you're wondering what your kids are up to, it's got a little camera point. Hey, Emily, what are you eating? What the? It's also got a passenger talk function that allows you to speak and reach your kids in the third row in case they're trying to ignore you. All right, so we've checked out every area of the Kia Carnival, and it delivers just an incredible amount of value considering this SX top-of-the-line model is still priced at under $50,000. Some of the other minivans don't even start until $50,000. So it's really incredible what Kia has delivered at this price point. So Emily, we've driven all of the different minivans over the past month or so. Is there anything about the Carnival that you like in particular compared to the other minivans?
Well, yeah, I really like the fact that it has reclining seats and a charger in the back that I can use to charge my phone while we're going places. Although compared to the reclining seats in the Sienna, I'd say it's not as good.
Yeah, these ones are a bit slower to move back to position because they're power operated, and the Sienna was kind of quick. Yeah. But it's interesting you mentioned the Sienna because Sienna is one of the best in the segment, possibly the best. We'll get to that in a later feature, but right now I just wanted to wrap up the Carnival because it's fantastic. And what's most amazing about the Carnival is its price point. It starts as low as $36,000, and this fully loaded SX still comes in at under $50,000 before freight and PDI. So it is definitely the value minivan in this segment, but still delivers tons of features in a really pleasant, balanced driving experience with great cargo space. So Kia has delivered a real winner in the minivan segment for value-conscious families with the 2024 Carnival. For Driving.ca, I'm Jonathan Yarconi.
And I'm Emily Yarconi.
Check out Driving.ca for more minivan news, reviews, and features.